Growing up, John Hughes was a household name. His writing seemed to define the era, not just comedically, but socially. Despite being 35 years old when The Breakfast Club was released, he seemed to understand exactly the clashes and confusions of being a teenager, as much as he did the problems facing middle-aged men. But to me, his films were more than anything funny. Because that's all I cared about at that age. Now, 37 years later, the world feels like a different place. I'm bald, tired, stressed, and everything seems to be slowly collapsing in on us. But one thing's remained the same. Planes, Trains and Automobiles is still one of my favourite films of all time, same as it was when I was 10, despite the fact that in those intervening years I've discovered the complex wonders of Tarkovsky, Herzog, Bergman and all those other greats. This simple 80s comedy still occupies a place in my heart. Why? Planes, Trains and Automobiles is the story of an uptight, irritable marketing executive, Neil Page, who finds himself trapped on a trip across road, rails and air with an overbearing shower curtain ring salesman named Del Griffith. It's a perfectly cast film with Steve Martin, despite his outward comedic persona, really being a very secretive man in real life who mostly wants to be just left alone, and John Candy, who was a sweet guy who nobody ever had a bad word to say about, and who made us laugh then and now, but as Ebert found him in a bar one night, often felt down, and that he wasn't doing enough, or he wasn't enough. He tried his hardest to please the people around him over pleasing himself. I'm not sure if I'm talking about his character Del Griffith now or Candy himself. And this is where the film always gets me. The scene where Neil Page loses it and lets rip at Del, telling him he's boring, and Del says, "I talk too much, I also listen too much." These characters are a poignant clash between an optimist who empathises with the people around him and a pessimist who sees the world as one big battle to overcome. As I sit here now staring at a screen flashing up chaos and conflict, trying to get my thoughts down and out and into the world and hope that people like them and want to hear more, or at least want to share that they feel the same way, feel my Neil Page side telling me it's a waste of time, that nobody will watch, that nobody cares, to go have a shave and get a real job. But I also hear Del saying, just be you. The people who like you, and I well up watching that scene again. It feels like my inside voice is arguing with each other, telling me there's too much conflict in the world, where algorithms set us against each other to push engagement, and it's right. You don't know what anybody else is going through, so be kind, empathise, listen as much as talk. Be Del Griffith, not Neil Page. Then he does that cheeky look over the shoulder and I'm filled with joy again. Because I love these characters and the way they make me feel. As Ebert said of this film, the movies that last, the ones we return to, don't always have lofty themes or Byzantine complexities. Sometimes they last because they are arrows straight to the heart. And that's why Planes, Trains and Automobiles remains a favourite film of mine, and will do forever. As long as I keep watching it, it'll remind me to subdue the Neil Page in me, to care, to carry my flaws, to listen, and to laugh. It's my happy place, my apocalypse beach. We are the Don't Tell Show. If you liked, please subscribe.